Hey y'all, thanks for watching this video. Remember to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and the notification button so you get all the videos that I got coming out, because I'm working real hard for y'all and I hope you enjoy it and I hope you're entertained by it. And as always, I thank you humbly for your continued support. The long-awaited Goku vs. Beerus rematch has been the talk since Battle of Gods, and we've discussed this before, but as Dragon Ball Super progresses, the Goku that we have now in the MORO arc is nowhere close to the one we saw back at the beginning of Super, or even before that in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, the movie, who faced off against Beerus. Super Saiyan God Goku and this new sort of mastered at will Ultra Instinct silver-haired Goku is a different level. So I want to revisit this topic because in my recent streams, there was a debate that happened among a lot of you guys about, can Goku beat Beerus now? Now, what I want y'all to do is, I know some of y'all are huge Beerus fans, and I know some of y'all are big UI Goku fans, but I want you to keep this in mind for this discussion. Please view this objectively here, because yes, the truth is, we have never seen Beerus at full power. That is a fact. We don't know what kind of mysterious energy he might have at full power, but we have seen the progression of Goku, and we have seen certain statements in the series that can kind of give us an idea of where this is going to go. So the discussion is, can Mastered UI Goku, now that he can at will tap into this power, finally defeat Beerus definitively in combat? MJ is here. What's up, MJ, bro? You ready to get controversial?
I am, man, because I've even seen it on my comment section, dog. The whole Beerus wank, if you will, that's been in full force recently, so should be interesting.
Well, I think the thing with Beerus is he got introduced to a lot of fanfare, and he was the strongest guy that Goku ever fought against at that point. And even though we've seen other characters come along, you could always just say, well, Beerus has never had max power and this and that. But, man, Goku's power creep, as it's gone on in the series, has been elevating more and more and more. And if we go back to just, even the Universe 6 arc, we have that scene where Goku did Kaioken Blue, and even Beerus was like, oh, he was using that against me. And you could interpret that in different, or he was going to use it against me. You could interpret that scene as Beerus being afraid. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but it just shows that Goku was taking his training seriously. But as you go further into the battle with Jiren, at that point, Beerus is a mess. Not necessarily because he's afraid of Goku, but because his universe is on the line, right? So that's why he was all, filled with anxiety during that fight. However, the thing that has been told to us many times is that God of Destruction Beerus and many of the other gods do not know how to master Ultra Instinct. Now, Goku knows how to master Ultra Instinct. On top of that, even though we again have never seen Beerus at max strength, we don't know if Beerus was actually secretly training. If he has been secretly training, maybe he also knows UI now. But we can't say that because we haven't seen any evidence to prove that. So let's go back to the TOP first of all. Do you think at that point, UI Goku, the one that fought Jiren, could have beaten Beerus at that point?
I know people are going to disagree with me on this, but I think MUI Goku, even though he was only in that form for like a minute, maybe less, I do
not a long time.
Not a long time. I do about as long as I last. But if if he was in that MUI form, he could probably defeat Beerus. And the reason why would be you would have to scale Goku above Jiren, and Jiren is a character who is stated to be equal to that of the Gods of Destruction. Even some magazines going out of their way to saying he has power that even surpasses the Gods of Destruction. And again, gods, bro, multiple. So it's not just his own God of Destruction. You know what I mean? So he surpasses the power of Gods of Destruction according to some statements here and there. And we saw MUI Goku go up and against an enraged Jiren, who had that weird UI looking aura, who was reminiscing about his past and how he wanted to change things. So that Jiren should scale above Beerus, because that Jiren should be stronger than the full power Jiren, the regular restraint Jiren. And yet MUI Goku still won the fight. So I'm pretty sure
Jiren hung in there. Yeah, just to clarify, it wasn't a one-sided thrashing. Jiren did hang in there, but ultimately Goku got the advantage.
So if you were to place that Goku against Beerus, I'm pretty sure Goku would win, but you probably could make a weird argument that maybe, he could run the clock, if you will. Beerus have him
Right,
waiting until...
Beerus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Beerus knows. Beerus knows that Goku has not mastered UI yet. Not to mention, some folks are probably going to say, well, what about the Hakai? Remember, in the manga, not in the anime, but in the manga, Goku also knows the Hakai. Now, we don't know if obviously he's not as effective with the Hakai as Beerus is, because that is a God of Destruction technique, and Goku's not a God of Destruction. He's just not trained in that job. So that class, if you want to go to the RPG, Final Fantasy Tactics freaking era, he doesn't know that. But he knows it in the manga. So in theory, neither one of them would even really, in theory, again, there's different ways it can go. Then the Hakai might just not work on either one of them. If they're fighting for sport and not to kill, then perhaps the Hakai would also be just disqualified from competition. Now, with the improvements Goku has made in training with Beerus, who is a low-tier angel, in his various battles with Moro, in his battles with now being able to tap into silver-haired Ultra Instinct without even... He can just do it now. Boom. Whenever he wants. And the improvements he's made on Omen, but that's irrelevant for this point. I find it very hard to believe that Beerus can beat this guy. Now please understand where I'm coming from here. I know, because everybody who wanks off Beerus always says stuff like, well, we have never seen him at full power. If that's the only argument you have, then this discussion can't even go anywhere. You're right, we haven't seen him at full power, but just based on Beerus's sort of being so in awe of a mortal achieving MUI, and the fact that we now see Goku mastering MUI that we never saw Beerus do, how can you say that Beerus can beat this guy unless they pull out a Deus Ex Machina and he was actually trained the entire time in secret? If he hasn't been training, I just don't see it being a possibility. What do you think?
He could have been secretly training. I think the issue with Beerus is that you pointed this out earlier in the video, that he's just a character who's been so ambiguous that fans just have it in their head that he can't be surpassed. You know what I mean? And that is something that's there. I do want to point out something that is a manga exclusive thing. This isn't in the anime, so this probably doesn't necessarily work for Broly. And what I'm getting at is the God of Destruction tournament. So the Grand Priest wants the gods.
That's a great point. Please go to that. I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead. Sorry.
So again, manga exclusive. This does not happen in the anime. So in the manga, you have the Zenos who want to see a tournament because, the other Zeno hasn't seen the Universe 6 tournament, right? And you have the Grand Priest make the gods of destruction fight. And the Grand Priest tells them the same thing he told Universe 9 and Universe 7 in the anime version. If you don't go all out, Zeno will erase you. And then all the gods start to fight. Beerus does his own little weird version of UI, obviously not mastered, but then he starts to get kind of pummeled a little bit. And then at the end of all of this, it comes down to Beerus and Catella. And Catella tells him, I'm going to beat you like last time. And Beerus is like, no, you won't beat me in hand-to-hand combat. They both start fighting. And at the end of the fight, we don't see it. We don't see the fight on screen. But once the fight is done and they're about to basically fall over at their feet before the Grand Priest intervenes, they're both beaten up. Beerus is all bloody. They both have black eyes and scratches all over their body. And Goku says, man, Beerus isn't holding back. Is he still alive after that? And then Whis goes, I suppose he is, or something along those lines. So again, that may not be enough stock for you to say, well, we still haven't seen Beerus' full power. But the implications of that tournament is that Beerus and Catella were throwing hands to see who the strongest God of Destruction was. So if you go off of that tournament, manga Goku may have an idea of how strong Beerus is. Maybe not a full power Beerus, but at least a Beerus who is not as restrained as he was in the Battle of Gods fight. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, Goku may know how strong Beerus is, and he may know he's the only one who could take out Moro.
And again, with that knowledge, we still have not seen Beerus even use UI even a little bit to how Goku's used it. So people underestimate the power of UI, especially when you can do it whenever you want to do it now. I just don't see how Beerus can win this fight.
Yeah, I'm leaning a lot towards Goku. I mean, obviously, even before the MORO arc, I was already leaning towards Goku. If you had TOP, Ultra Instinct Goku versus Beerus, now you have a Goku who has been drained, healed, almost killed, healed again. Zenkai is probably, training with Beerus, unlocking Omen, and then stacking MUI on top of that, and now he can go into that form at will, or that technique at will. It's like, this Goku is leagues above the Tournament of Power UI Goku, so it's like, he should be able to beat Beerus, and
he really should.
And even the
y'all
Hakai,
gotta, so. Even if you're a Beerus fan, dude, it's gone. We've gone far enough with this, okay? Like, we really have. Remember, he's going toe-to-toe with MORO, who is, in theory, low angel tier now, who's also UI after taking Beerus' power. Beerus is not the top dog out of those two anymore. I just don't see it. In fact, you could even make an argument that I'm not so sure if Beerus could even beat... Well, that's a different video. Because I was going to say, I'm not sure if Beerus could even beat MORO, but MORO's body is also very unstable. But during that time when it was not unstable, we do have a low-tier angel. So again, it all comes down to whether or not you believe that Beerus is stronger or weaker than Beerus. I've seen arguments for both sides. Again, though, Beerus is a low-tier angel. So, bottom line, I don't see how Goku could not defeat Beerus. I think Beerus would lose that fight. If you have any ideas as to how Goku would end up not losing that fight, how Beerus can win outside of the Hakai, let me know. I don't see it, man. I really don't, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really see Beerus winning that fight either, especially with the amount of strength that Goku has acquired since the Tournament of Power. I mean, you and Seth did the base Goku video, and you guys talked about how Goku became, hundreds if not thousands times stronger in just, those 48 minutes. So this dude, Goku, post-Tournament of Power is no joke,
And don't forget that post-fusion boost that I have to do a video on that at some point after Gogeta. There's lots of things that Goku has done since then and don't forget, it wasn't one day, it was 3 months with Beerus, bro. 3 months is a long time.
Right.
Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
Thank you, MJ, for being here.
No problem, bro.
We'll talk to y'all next time.